You're listening to the Supernatural Opinions podcast. Hi, I'm KJ. My pronouns are she, her, and this is the podcast where I recap the show Supernatural with my fellow fans and we discuss our supernatural opinions. Today we're recapping Season 1, Episode 7, Hookman, which originally aired on October 24th, 2005, and here to help me do that is my guest of the week, Meredith.
Hello, my pronouns are she and her, and I'm excited, and I have some notes actually organized.
Yay, we love organized.
Yay!
This week's episode will contain spoilers for this episode and may reference previous episodes, but will hopefully not contain spoilers for later episodes of Supernatural. This week's episode is titled Hookman, and that's a reference to the monster of the week. It's not that deep. I mean, Hookman's pretty common.
It's pretty straightforward.
I had a lot of fun. I really liked this episode, so...
Oh yeah, they do the creep factor very well here. And it's pretty iconic too, actually.
Oh, definitely. The Hookman's like a super famous legend, so...
Yeah.
This week's episode was written by Eric Kripke and John Sheehan and directed by David Jackson. John Sheehan actually directed last week, so we talked about him then. One of his other Supernatural credits is episode 11 of this season, Scarecrow, which I mix up with this episode all the time, so maybe that's why I mix them up so much.
Oh yeah, and then they both have like creepy villains with sharp implements on their hands.
Yeah. This is David Jackson's only time directing Supernatural, but is by no means his only directing credit. Among his directional projects are Return to Halloween Town, one of the Disney Channel original Halloween Town movies, which I enjoy very much.
Fun.
3 episodes of the original Charmed, 4 episodes of Miami Vice, and 4 episodes of One Tree Hill, and 3 episodes of CSI New York. So lots of experience directing. And I guess we should just jump right into the recap, because that's about all I have for a preamble this week.
Yeah, I don't really have anything to add.
We are at a sorority house, and immediately I went, oh, Dean's gonna be gross this week, because season 1 Dean is predictable as hell.
Yeah.
I mean, at least all the girls are gonna be in college, but like, some of them might be 18 or 19, and he is 27. It's gross.
Did he have his birthday?
We're assuming, because, you know.
I didn't notice.
In Skin, we said it was either December, like, it was either early December or it was March. And I said it was probably somewhere in between there. And as long as it was past January 24th, he's 27.
Okay, I'll take your word for it, because I just wasn't keeping track.
Either way, they're 18 or 19, so 26, 27 doesn't make a huge difference. That's still a large age difference. I mean, not like the worst age difference in the world, but like, when you're, like, age still has a teen on the end.
Yeah, in this case, it's not really about age, it's more about, like, you're at completely different stages of your life, so stay away from the young girls.
I mean, except for that Dean Winchester's just at an abnormal stage for his entire life. He's been at this stage since he was like 6.
Yeah, well, stay away from them anyway.
Yeah. It's not a life that... I think we said in like episode 3 that like children shouldn't be exposed to Dean Winchester, and like sorority girls also shouldn't be exposed to Dean Winchester.
Yeah, I don't really trust the judgment of a lot of sorority girls, so I trust them to,
I mean, they're in college, but yeah, they're still... their brains haven't fully matured, so...
Yeah, we're both in university. We know exactly how stupid people this age can be.
Yes. Anyways, we're at the Theta sorority, Eastern Iowa University. Immediately, the first two girls we meet, I'm like, why do I know that one? So Taylor is played by Christy Lang, who was Maid Marian on Once Upon a Time.
Really?
Very much disliked for breaking up the outlaw queenship of Robin Hood and Regina.
Good to know.
Yeah, but I was like, why do I know her face? She's way younger here. This was like a few years, if not a decade before, so.
I think she was also in another episode of this show.
Probably.
Yeah, she played a Crossroads demon, I think, in the Robert Johnson episode.
That would track. Lori is the other friend, and she's going to a party with her date, Rich, but they have delayed their arrival to go parking. I don't know if kids still go parking. Probably more now than they honestly have in the past few years with COVID. I'm sure parking's probably made a comeback.
Oh, probably. I don't understand it, but different strokes for different folks, I guess.
If you don't know what parking is, it's when you park your car somewhere more or less out of the way and you get involved with each other in the car. Privacy's hard to come by sometimes when you're a teenager, or if you have roommates, or, you know, like, these two girls share a bedroom.
Yeah, dorms are not the most private spots.
Not always the most private place, so parking's, you know, a thing that the kids do to get a little privacy.
Those young kids and their their cars.
Anyway, Lori's not super into it. Like, she clearly isn't really comfortable with that, and that's also totally okay to not be comfortable doing that. I don't think I would be super comfortable doing that. It doesn't seem like they've known each other very long, and they don't know each other very well. And it just seems like that's not what she was planning on doing with her night. But she gets a call from her dad, which she ignores pretty quickly. And I'm like, I kind of forgot if Lori lived or died in this moment. And I was like, I'm sure she'll regret that in a minute, because I was pretty sure that she was going to end up dead. She didn't, but still, I think probably regrets not picking up that call.
Yeah, because Rich is getting a bit excited, isn't he?
Yes, I said that he was pressing his luck. Trying to touch her under her shirt, even though she said no. So honestly, he has what happens next coming.
Just a reminder, kids, consent is important if you don't want to be gored by a hook.
Yes, literally that. Or if you just want to be like, a not horrible human being.
That too.
So Rich gets out of the car to investigate a metal on hook noise that is coming from outside.
Friendly reminder that if you're in a horror episode, you should just never get out of the car.
Yeah, totally.
Just step on the gas.
Totally. He gets out to investigate, and Lori gets scared when one of the tires gets slashed, so she locks the doors and rolls up the windows, which is the right move.
It's like the only smart thing anyone in any of these openings has ever done.
At least this far. But then, the noises don't stop, and she gets, really freaked out, and she gets out of the car anyway.
Oh, come on, Lori. I had faith in you.
And she finds out that her date, Rich, has been killed and, strung up upside down over her car. Or his car. Unclear. The car.
The sin wagon.
Literally. And then we're with our boys, and Sam's on a payphone with someone. And, wow, I haven't seen a payphone in a hot minute.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
And Dean is making fun of Sam's fancy drink because he's ordered a half-cap double vanilla latte, which I guess means that Sam slept the night before, because Sam's drink when he's tired is a triple red eye, which is a coffee with 3 espresso shots in it.
So, come on, Dean, this is a good sign.
This is a good sign. Dean also calls Sam Francis here, and, I don't understand what his joke is. I couldn't figure out is he just calling Sam feminine for drinking a latte?
Probably.
Or French? Because if he's just being a jerk like lattes are for girls, then Samantha is the much more obvious choice. Where did Francis come from? This is just nonsense.
It's the morning. He's not at his top game here.
Sam just says bite me because he's annoyed.
I would be.
And Sam's in a bad mood because he hasn't found anything out about their dad, even though he's been checking literally every database that he could find.
He needs the latte to improve his mood, Dean. Come on.
I did read that this episode was supposed to air... Hang on, let me check my facts. I meant to put this in my notes, and I didn't. I want to be factually correct before I say.
That's very important.
I had read somewhere, and I can't tell where. Maybe I'm wrong about this, but you know what? I'm just gonna say it.
Wing it.
I'm just gonna say it. I had read somewhere that this episode was supposed to air after Wendigo.
Okay.
So it's supposed to be episode 3 and not episode 7, and they just need more time to work on it. So that's why we're getting this, Sam's looking for their dad so suddenly in comparison to the last, couple weeks where he's I've been looking at the databases, I think that's why we're having this conversation now and not in, Phantom Traveler.
Okay, that would make sense.
Dean says that he doesn't think that John wants to be found, but he's found them a case. And it's Sam's turn to be, this could be nothing, because someone always has to be skeptical that there's a case. They can't both be that's definitely our thing. One of them always has to be I don't know if that's our thing. I don't think there's a case here.
Or if we do investigate something that's a false alarm, all we have to lose is time and gas money.
Which, what are they gonna do anyways?
Exactly.
Dean says Dad would check it out, and then smash cut to the Impala roaring down a country road with loud music. No complaints on this music choice, it's fine.
Awesome.
Then there's a kid fixing a car in a driveway holding a screwdriver and a banana.
That's what you fix cars with, right?
Yeah. Definitely the tools of the trade. Sam and Dean have decided that they're gonna pretend to be frat bros. Sam is the same age as the average college senior, and Dean is 27, but you know what? Okay.
It's college, it's not high school.
It is. I mean...
You can be any age.
Somehow they look 4 to 6 years older than every person that's supposed to be in college in this episode, but... Even though they're like the right ages to be in college, honestly, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. We then meet Murph, who's a frat guy painted purple, who gives them all the deeds on Lori Sorensen, the girl who was on the date. Lori is a freshman, so she's 19, and her father is the Reverend.
I know, I just thought this was so funny to watch. Like, it's such a serious conversation to be having while you're helping a guy paint himself purple.
Yes, Sam is painting this guy purple while he's talking to them. This is the first time we've ever seen the boys go into a church. Sam has to elbow Dean to, like, bow his head when everyone's praying. Like, Dean clearly doesn't know what's going on, but, like, it seems like Sam's maybe gone to a church once or twice in his life.
That actually checks out.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, huh, this behavior is interesting. Making character choices early, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Sam and Dean corner Lori, and Sam plays the Jess card to be sympathetic to her because he just saw someone get horribly killed. And Dean...
Might as well.
Dean takes the dad off to the side so that Sam can talk to Lori without as much interruption or scrutiny or judgment. And Sam gets all the details on the murder, which, you know, we don't need to hear because we saw it already. Sam believes Lori, which Dean has interpreted as Sam thinks that Lori's hot. And, like, that doesn't really make sense.
Oh, come on, Dean. He can think with his upstairs brain.
Reliability and hotness are not causally linked. And if they were, I think it might be the other way around. Like, that's, like, the stereotype is that, like, hot girls are shallow and vain and vindictive. So I'm not sure why I'm following Dean's logic here. I'm not sure where Dean's coming from.
Maybe Dean's just like, you think she's hot, so you're more likely to believe everything she says because you're distracted.
I mean, that seems to be how Dean operates.
I don't know how all those people work. Just
fair enough. And Dean and Sam are both really excited that the murder sounds like the Hookman. It's only been 2 episodes since Bloody Mary, which I would say is an even more famous urban legend than Hookman, and that was very much real.
But also like Hookman.
I mean, but still, like, they just dealt with an urban legend that was really real.
Like, if you're a hunter, this is like meeting celebrities.
I feel like, I don't know. I like when they're excited. When they're like, wow, this is cool. It makes me... when they have joy and pride in their work, I feel joy and pride for them.
I'm glad you can find light in your dreary lives.
Sam suggests that maybe the Hookman was never, like, a monster, and suggests that maybe it was a ghost, kind of like how Bloody Mary was a ghost. Again, if this episode was supposed to air before Bloody Mary, I guess it makes sense that we're talking about it like this.
Yeah.
The librarian brings them some boxes of reference material, and what words do you think that they were using to make this request? Like, they must have told her what they were looking for, but, like, she's not asking enough questions. They asked for all the arrest records for this town in Iowa going back to 1851. 1851.
I mean, she probably gets a lot of weird requests at a university.
I mean, I guess, but, like...
Is this the local library or the university library?
Hard to tell. Doesn't specify.
It's like the number of times where I've had, like, really oddly specific questions when I'm doing history research is... oh, gosh.
I guess I hadn't considered that. I guess I hadn't really thought of that. But, like, yes, we'd like to see all of the arrest records for the past 200 years.
Like, that's a bit broad, but also very weird.
I can't believe that they have arrest records from 1851.
I mean...
apparently this is what university was like before the internet was super accessible. Like, I've gone to the library at my university, but, like, also, like, most things, when I'm, like, looking for, like, references for things, like, all that shit's online.
Yeah, and I don't know, it feels weird that they wouldn't have to, like, get out their student cards or anything.
This might be a public library. Also, I feel like libraries were more accessible to the public before the internet was really common.
True. And I guess arrest records, I don't know, I think the more recent ones would more likely be sealed off, wouldn't they?
I feel like you just have to make a public information request through, like, the courts or the police station. I'm not sure. I'm sure it varies place to place, but I feel like most of that information would be available through a public records request.
Okay. I don't really know how this works.
Either way, good thing that they went back to 1851 because the magic arrest record is in remarkable condition and it's from 1862.
That was a while ago.
Just like a hot minute.
That's like mid-Victorian.
It's been a while. Jacob Carnes was a preacher with a silver hook for a hand following an unspecified accident. I'm sure accidents that required hooks instead of hands were probably much more common in 1862.
Now I'm regretting that my research didn't lead down this path. I want to know how common it was to have your prosthetic be a hook.
I mean, probably pretty common, but I also wish that either of us had looked this up.
Next time. We'll fit it in later, randomly.
This town in Iowa apparently had a real problem with the red light district. They apparently had a full-blown, red light district in this town.
How exciting.
And this guy lost his damn mind and killed 13 sex workers in one night. That's a lot of people.
Well, that's rude.
That's a lot of people, a lot in a really short amount of time. One night.
I never want to go to his services if he's going to blame the sex workers for the condition of the town.
He hung some of them upside down from trees. That's extra work. And this all happened, around the same spot as where Rich got murdered. So that was fun. Love that. Great to know that people are so sex negative. I mean, I guess it was 1862, but still, murder's a little extreme.
Yeah.
For people just trying to make money and get